Welcome to MINJEC WEBTV. In today's special segment, we bring you the latest news and updates to better serve our diverse audience. Stay tuned as we dive into today's headlines, bringing you stories from across MINJEC. Shaping Future Leaders, a workshop with the University of Bamenda sparking dialogue on civic responsibility and climate resilience. Uniting for a safer digital space, MINJEC and the United Nations system led a campaign against online abuses. Louisette Renée THOBI, honored for 4 years of leadership at CONFEJES during an audience granted to her by MINJEC. Stay with us as we explore these stories in more details. After 4 years as Secretary General at the head of Conference of Ministers of Youth and Sports of the Francophonie CONFEJES, Louisette Renée THOBI was congratulated on April 8, 2025 by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education in his ministerial department, Ange Bokop.
Since February 26, 2021, date of her election in this forum of the Francophonie, the results to be credited to Louisette Renée THOBI are more than satisfactory with regard to the empowerment and support of youth, actions welcomed by the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mononafutsu. She made her plea by mentioning the importance of taking stock after these 4 years.
C'est toujours un plaisir et un honneur de venir rencontrer les membres du gouvernement qui interviennent.
It's always a pleasure and honor to come and meet the member of government who intervene in the procedure of putting into place activities of the Conference of Ministers of Youth and Sports of the Francophonie, and to be faithful to these activities that I come with it to the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education. This is to make a report on the activities already carried out since August 2024 and to analyze perspective, especially with the objective to add more value on the implementation of the activities that we accompany in favor of the Cameroonian youth.
Nous accompagnons en faveur de la jeunesse.
She also announced a women's entrepreneurship fair in agronomy, fair during which a selection contest of 100 young girls entrepreneurs in Cameroon, including 10 by region, for the prize of the best entrepreneurial project. Minister Mononafutsu, during the discussions, reassured the Secretary General of the CONFEJES of the support of the government to this candidacy for the second term and the participation of Cameroon in the international competition organized on the sidelines of the said General Assembly.
The promoter of Give Back to Mama movement, Samuel Menden, presented on April 7, 2025 to the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education a project that is in the field of public health for the prevention of certain diseases. Charlie Likisabi gives the details.
Fighting against diabetes and hypertension is the objective that furnished the exchange between the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mononafutsu, and Samuel F. Mandeng, promoter of the Give Back to Mama movement, who came to present the quintessence of his project. The project aims to help young people understand the importance of preventing diseases such as diabetes. Specifically, this project wants to reach as many young people as possible because the fringe of society is the most numerous and most exposed to opportunistic diseases such as diabetes and hypertension.
The
5th edition of the month Give Back to Mama, which will bring together Cameroonians from abroad in several fields of health expertise, packing through the digital, all kinds of leadership, community development. For 1 month, we will be in Cameroon this year from 20 July. The launch will be official, and then we will hold 30 days of conferences visit all of Cameroon.
In the realization of the said project, it is a question of having health workers whose role will be to educate and raise awareness among young people on this disease from the grassroots. For Dr. Martin Ekumo, a member of the delegation received by the minister, It is a fertile ground for this project because young people can only develop more if they are in good health.
My movement is to carry out a global fight against diabetes and its complications. So it is really an opportunity for me to be in Cameroon and to be able to start this movement with people that can accompany me.
At the end of this exchange, Minister Mununa Futsu prescribed the rearming of youth as an all-purpose tool that must be used in all fields and sectors of activity in order to bring young people to change their mentality and become more aware of the importance of their health. He then describes rearmors as a priority project in terms of education, exchange of mentalities within our society for general awareness.
Reflecting on the strategies for the revival and implementation of the partnership agreement between the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education and Birch Bank Cameroon was the main topic on the agenda on Thursday, April 10, 2025. This was during an audience granted by Minister Mununa Futsu to Jose Miguel Chama, Managing Director of Birch Bank Cameroon. Carl Wabieb is back with more details.
It was during a hearing held on Thursday, April 10, 2025, that the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education and Birch Bank Cameroon discussed strategies for reviving and implementing the partnership agreement signed on August 14, 2024 between the two organizations.
I come to cry close to my father so that we can relaunch the relationship and try to have the outcomes and walk in the spirit of you gain, I gain, and also profit of this opportunity to confirm our availability to accompany youths.
This agreement is part of the implementation of the Young Entrepreneurs Guarantee Fund for Jeunes and aims to support socio-economic integration projects for young people.
It is to relaunch the recommendation of the partnership agreement that was carried out between Bank General Bank and MINJEC concerning the Jeunes program.
Minister Mununa Futsu is delighted with the partnership support in the effective implementation of this program outlined by the Head of State, His Excellency Paul Biya, during his address to the youth on February 10, 2022. For Jose Miguel Obiang Chama, it is an honor to contribute to the empowerment of Cameroonian youth through Birch Bank. To operationalize this partnership agreement, it was therefore necessary to reflect on the strategies for implementing this agreement, which provides support for young people through incubation centers.
For the attention it gave us to our occupation, which consisted of implementation of the partnership agreement between these two institutions, and other things for the support of young people through incubation centers and young people who could integrate the society. The tools that were put in place was to guarantee the direct financing. We want to tell you how satisfied we are for the effective start of the implementation of this partnership agreement, which has led to the socio-professional integration of young people and at the economic level of the country. It contributes to the policy and import substitution concerning the domain that were identified by the parties.
At the end of this audience, we note that the common objective of both parties is to contribute to the emancipation and socio-economic integration.
Proneg Reamos, a commitment to civic and responsible behaviors. This Thursday, April 10, 2025, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, Mununa Futsu, received in an audience Madame Marie-Victoire Venus. She is the president of the organization, Les Entretiens d'Excellence, and also ambassador of Proneg Reamos program. A meeting rich in exchanges focused on the empowerment of young people, especially young girls. The updates with Shali Likisabi.
It was in the meeting room of the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education that this courtesy audience between Minister Mununa Futsu and Mrs. Marie-Victoire Venus took place.
I'm the president of an association called Les Entretiens de l'Excellence, recognized by the subdivisional officer of Infundi, and the subdivisional officer has remarked this since the creation.
a meeting that is part of strengthening youth initiatives and supporting projects with high social impact.
I think that as an ambassador designated by the Minister of Pronegriamos, which is the National Program of Civic Education through Moral, Civic and Entrepreneurial Rearmament, I had a loyalty. The loyalty was to show him to what extent all my activities were carried out from the beginning.
Commitment praised by Minister Mununa Futsu for this ambassador of Pronegriamos program. In doing so, Marie-Victoire Venus presented her organization's flagship program, Future of Cameroon, an initiative designed to encourage female entrepreneurship through training, monitoring and structure support. In partnership with MINJEC structures, the association supports young girls in their integration into social and economic sector via the Incubator of Excellence in Career. At the heart of the discussion was a proposal for closer collaboration with the CONFEJES, the DJEC and the DRJEC. The minister promised a circular letter to facilitate the integration. He also expressed his full willingness to support the association, calling for maintaining the fighting spirit necessary to transform ambitions into concrete action.
The fight against online uncivic behaviors has stepped up the crusade, wherein the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education and the United Nations system launched a special civic education campaign on social networks on Friday, April 11, 2025 at the headquarters of the UNESCO Multisectoral Regional Office, with the aim of eradicating the growing abuses in the digital space. Boris Christianzo was on the field.
Globally, hate speech on social network X, formerly Twitter, has increased by 400%. These figures clearly illustrate the extent to which this scourge is taking hold worldwide and in Cameroonian society in particular. Hate speech can take the form of discriminatory remarks of a tribal, racial, or sexist nature, which are intended to stigmatize, belittle, or undermine the dignity of the person concerned. However, it can be even more dangerous for society as a whole.
As we move towards elections, it becomes even more important. We are concerned that when hate speech invites itself in elections, it can be detrimental to the stability. That's why the UN and all its partners think that it is extremely important that such initiative be launched right now.
To take comprehensive action, the special online civic education campaign will cover the following themes: hate speech, child marriages, and civism, depravity of morals, fake news, and cybercrime. Each team will be covered by 258 volunteers over a period of 3 months for a total of 1 year, with 1,000 volunteers participating globally.
Nous avons lancé cette campagne pour accentuer la lutte contre les discours de haine sur les réseaux sociaux. Ces volontaires, qui sont 1000, seront déployés sur la toile et vont sensibiliser sur plusieurs thématiques qui ont été développées lors de leur formation. Il s'agit en fait de lutter contre tous les discours de haine et de favoriser le vivre ensemble harmonieux en ce contexte électoral.
The special online civic education campaign, an initiative being rolled out as part of the implementation of the National Civic Education Program through Moral, Civic and Entrepreneurial Rearmament. Pronegriamos.
A 2-day workshop on the actualization of the University of Bamenda's training curricula on moral and civic education was held at the conference hall of the National Youth Observatory in Madagascar from Monday 7 to Tuesday, April 8, 2025, with a focus on leadership, civic responsibility, sustainability, development, and climate change resilience. Our reporter, Carl Wobie, tells us more.
This workshop brings together staff dealing with academic matters and curriculum review processes at the University of Bamenda with the MINJEC experts and the TACDEF 2.0 team to develop this course. The objective of this workshop was to examine the Pronegriamos document against the National Development Strategy Plan of Cameroon, itemize the learning outcomes and propose a framework of immersion for out-of-school youths into the MINJEC entrepreneurial incubators to assist in the TACDEF 2.0 out-of-school youth delivery pathway.
and that program is called TACDEF 2.0. So MINJEC will be a key partner of the university because they have the expertise in the areas of moral rearmament. They have the expertise in having this youth, these multipurpose centers. So these two things will come to bear to enable the university deliver on this promise.
The following key deliverables are expected from the workshop, wherein there will be a proposed policy document to accompany the PRONEC Rearmors framework for the higher education sector and a joint communique between MINJEC and the University of Bamenda on the leadership, strategic governance and climate change resilience in Cameroon.
So the university wants to integrate this mind-changing tool into his program so that they can be up to date with the national and international landscape.
This workshop marks a significant milestone in fostering educational reform, promoting civic responsibility, and equipping the next generation to tackle sustainability and climate challenges effectively.
Thank you for joining us on MINJEC Web TV. We hope you find today's news informative and engaging. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms for more updates. Have a great week and stay tuned for our next broadcast.